from your downward dog, lift one leg, bring your foot through to a lunge, and have a few breaths. Reaching out through the sole of your foot behind you, your heel behind you, nice and long. If you've got a set of blocks, they go to 3 different heights. You can make use of them here. Nice and long through your upper body. And then we're gonna come down with that back knee. So some options. You could fold your mat over and cushion your knee and your foot. You could bring a folded blanket or towel underneath your knee. And then get a little longer in your stance. A little more space between front foot and back knee. Drop back with the front hip and lean forward with the back hip. Nice long torso, head on top of spine. So in Yin, this is called dragonfly. And in Yin postures, we hold anything from like 3 to 6 minutes. We can hold them that long, but staying in something for 10 breaths or even a minute can feel like a really long time. If you need to, you can ease out and ease back in. Adjust the support beneath you. Bring the blocks a little closer. Maybe your hand comes to your thigh. Or you might feel like reaching out with your arms or up into the air. Squeeze your thighs together. Even though they're nowhere near each other. You can hit pause and stay here for up to 6 minutes if you want to. Change your mind about anything. And then shifting your hips back, lift that front foot. A big stretch through the back line of the front leg. I'm drawing back through my hip, reaching forward through my heel, and toes are flexed towards my knee. And keep breathing. You can always ease out and ease back in if you're getting any cramping or if it's too intense. Try to stay open and spacious in your upper body, having something, maybe a wall beside you or a chair or ottoman or blocks. Drawing back through the hip, forward through the heel. Trying not to lean into your other hip so that you're not going to the side, but staying balanced. Energize softly. And then we'll come forward again. If you've got blocks, you can bring them in front and maybe wiggle your foot out to the side more so that you're not scrunched in your shoulders. You can bring your forearms onto the blocks at any height. Try not to sink in your shoulders, but nice and long. Nice and long. Back foot could be tucked under, or toes could be reaching forward, or behind you, sorry. Lift and open. Keep breathing. So you can hit pause and stay here for up to 6 minutes if you'd like. If you want to, kind of rotate a little, leaning into the outside of that back hip. You could stay up on the blocks. If your wrists allow, you could come down on them and lean into that hip so you can get into some of this outside stuff. Press into your fingers so there's not as much pressure on your wrists. Lift out of your shoulders. Again, you could stay here for up to 6 minutes if you want to. And then I'm going to switch legs. So from table, or if you want a downward dog to transition, you can set yourself up to the other side. Lifting your leg, the other leg to come forward. Setting up for your lunge. Take a few breaths in the high lunge. Also great to practice if you don't like being on your knee. You can stay up high. You could bring the seat of a chair underneath this front thigh and stay. It could be on your blocks or any kind of support that you might have. But try not to sink into it. You want to lift out. Squeeze your thighs together, though your legs are reaching away from each other. Stay for as long as you like here. If you feel like bringing your back knee down, the cushioning helps. You can roll your mat over, or have a towel or a blanket. And if you want to wiggle more space between front foot and back knee, take that. But we're drawing back through the front hip and forward through the back hip. Nice and long through your torso and your neck. And keep breathing. So you can stay lower with your upper body. You could walk the blocks in. This will deepen the sensations into the front of that back hip. Press your foot into the mat. Squeeze your thighs together. Relax your jaw. Relax around your eyes. And keep breathing. And you can stay here for up to 6 minutes if you want to. Maybe longer. You shift back. So heel reaching forward, toes drawing back, hip going back, nice and long through your torso. So it's not about collapsing here. Nice and long. Keep breathing. There's nothing flaky about Yin Yoga, that's for sure. Keep breathing. If you want to have a little wag here, you can get into the different hamstrings. Energy going in multiple directions. You can always ease out and ease back in. Whatever you need more of, feel your body. You can always bring your foot in a little closer for more stability. And bring the blocks on the inside and maybe wiggle your foot off to the outside and come down on your forearms at any height. And keep breathing. Keep breathing. Nice long spine, long neck, not collapsed and hunched. Nice and long. So you're looking forward of the top of your mat, not back towards your back knee. Keep breathing, keep breathing. The breath is everything. You can always come back all the way down onto your forearms if you want to. Or you can lean into the outside of your hips, sort of rolling into it. And I sort of brace my elbow into my rib cage and press into my fingers. And this is a nice stretch for that whole outside front hip, TFL, into the IT band, the obliques and the side body. Okay, you can stay as long as you like. And these exercises are warm up and a practice towards the splits. You can press back to table, child's pose, downward dog. Maybe pedal it out, bending one knee and then the other. And you could repeat on each side if you wanted to. Or you could try coming into the splits. You could do this with a block under your sits bones and reach up, or have blocks beside you. So active, I'm reaching through that front heel, drawing toes towards me, pressing through the back foot and trying not to twist. And coming out, bend the back knee and wiggle, draw forward. And you can transition to a widespread standing forward fold. Press through the outer edges of your feet. So remember, I'm going kind of quickly through this. You could pause in each posture for up to 6 minutes if you wanted to. And then step back to downward dog. And bring the other foot forward. Wearing socks helps on hardwood floor because then you've got more slip. And if you want to, you can bring the block over to this sits bone. Or put a second block or a bolster. One side's always tighter than the other. For me, it's this one. You can probably tell. And again, you don't have to come into the splits. You could do the lunge sequence again. staying for as long as you like, bending out of it, and then coming into that wide stance, forward fold, and letting it dangle. If you feel stable, you can bring your hands behind you. If your head touches the ground, it's a warm up towards a headstand. From here, you could step into a squat. So it could be high or lower if that's available to you. Squeezing legs towards each other and pressing legs away with your arms. Wag your tail behind you and then draw your chin back in space without lifting it. This should release your whole back. And again, you could stay here for up to 6 minutes. I get restless holding things still that long, so if you feel like, flowing through this, go for it. Or even releasing and squatting and staying a little longer. Just letting some blood flow through if you need it. So you're never forcing anything. You're never forcing a mood or a posture. Never forcing yourself to stay longer than your instincts. If you get the nudges to come out, explore them. Give yourself permission to explore. And then come on down to a seated posture. And we'll do something called, sometimes called double pigeon or double swan. In Yin Yoga, pigeon is called swan. So, or this one's sometimes called log cabin. So one leg in front of you, your knees are closer together than cross-legged, and then flexing your foot and having your ankle crossed over your knee and your knee over your ankle. So this is not cross-legged with the knees wide. This is closer. Feet are flexed, and when you're flexed your feet, you can see the inside edges of them from big toe to heel and pressing and rooting down. For many people, it might look something like this, or pillows underneath here. Not everyone has as hypermobile joints as I do, so don't compare yourself to anyone else. It's of no use to you, actually. So you could just sit here, you could take your hands and lean back and get a little movement in your waist. You could lean forward, have your forearms on your thighs. You could bring your blocks here. You could have your hands to the floor. You could fold further forward. A big release for the glutes. Stay active in your feet. You can walk over to one side or the other. You could dive your elbow into the arch of your foot and palm on palm twist, pressing as if you could get your palms together in front of your heart. You could take your elbow to the other side and twist, hooking your elbow on the outside of your thigh. Or you could just stay. All of this is just tricks to stay here a little longer and feel it out. This posture really helps me stretch out my glutes and my low back after I've been cycling and squatting so much in the garden. You can stay here, you can come up and kind of rock the baby, depending on what works for you. Maybe you can hold and cradle your leg. Maybe you can take your foot into the air and reach out. And then switch legs and stacking the other way. So it's ankle over thigh or knee and ankle under thigh or knee. So foot's a little further away, not close in, but further away. And knees are close in. And again, you could prop under each knee, wiggle into it, lean back, lean forward, twist around. Be with this for as long as it suits you. Let me know if you have any questions. This is great for me in the morning when I wake up before I go cycling, or in the evening after I've been doing stuff all day. Let me know how it works for you. Peace.